Oh, what's happening, everybody? Jay Shock Blast here, and oh my lord. So if you followed me at all through the channel and everything, you know I have not been all that excited with where Marvel has been going with their comics, and I kind of find the idea of another Civil War a little cheesy, but because I am the type of person that will give anything a chance, I went ahead and read Civil War number 2, Civil War 2 number 1. It's a 40-page issue, 40 or so pages. It's basically like a double issue that really kind of kicks off the Civil War. And in it, as the title of this video suggests, we have two major casualties that are prompting the Civil War. So obviously there are spoilers. If you haven't read the book, I would stay out until you do. And if you're not going to read the book, you just want the review, then stay the course. So this Civil War, we are seeing Captain Marvel versus Iron Man, kind of like last time where we had Captain America versus Iron Man. And last time it was over the Registration Act, or the Superhero Registration Act, where Captain America was against it and Tony was for it. Now we have found a new Inhuman by the name of Ulysses, and his special power is that he can see the future. And they use this power to predict a celestial invasion, and with the knowledge that it was coming, they were able to stop it. And so the Inhumans basically take him in, and Tony Stark throws a party celebrating, saying, hey, it's not often that we can all get together and celebrate things like this, and let's have a good party and enjoy it, enjoy the victory. And then the questions come. I think it started, I don't remember who asked the question first. I think it was Iron Man was about to ask the question, or War Machine was about to ask the question, but I feel like Spider-Man is the one that asked it. I don't have the book in front of me at the moment, but either way, they all approached Medusa, the leader of the Inhumans, and asked her, how did this happen? How did you guys know this was going to be a thing that happened? And that's when she explained the powers of Ulysses and introduced them to a very exclusive group of people. And to set this up, though, War Machine had been asking Tony about why he was stuck with 1980s technology, and when he was going to get his new suit. So let's tuck that nugget aside. So basically, after he's explained his powers, that he can see the future, and that is how they were able to predict the event, Tony was completely against using this in the future, whereas Captain Marvel, wanted to bring him in so that they had the ability to stop invasions like this. And there you have it. Civil War number 2 is underway. Not right that moment. That's not the moment that kind of prompted it. But Tony basically said, look, this is dangerous. He has the ability to see a future, not the future. And she basically says, this is a future, we need to be able to have these opportunities to prevent those futures from happening. So, I guess a few weeks goes by, and Ulysses has another vision, and Medusa says, get the Ultimates, who I haven't followed the books enough to know who the Ultimates are, but I'm assuming that's Carol Danvers' group that is not the Avengers. And so then we fast forward to Mary Jane Watson, apparently, is Tony Stark's new secretary instead of Pepper Potts. I'm not sure what's going on there either, but basically she interrupts Iron Man looking for his new stealth suit, and now we're gonna get to the point where not one but two very, very, very classic members of the Avengers pass away, tragically. So let's go to the first one. Who is our first Avenger that is no longer with us? And who is our second Avenger that is no longer with us? Whoops. Messed that one up. But in this issue, both War Machine and She-Hulk die. Now, what happened is there is a premonition, if you will, that Ulysses has, and he sees Thanos invading Earth. And so basically they were there waiting for him when he gets there. And yeah, we see a scene where War Machine, James Rhodes, I should say, is dead. He's, under the white draped cloth in a hospital. And Iron Man is very emotional. Tony, I should say, is very emotional. And he's asking what happened. And, Captain Marvel has to explain to him that they saw the vision. And, Tony's like, hey, he's not even on your team. And he's like, she said, yeah, he's not, but he volunteered. And knowing the outcome, he would have done it again. Apparently they captured Thanos. He's in holding. And, we also go to a bedside scene where She-Hulk, Jen Walters, is in critical condition in bed, and they don't know what to do because she's a Hulk. They need Banner to help her, and she's just not there. And she slowly starts to slip. And before she does, she pulls, Carol Danvers aside and says, Carol, fight for it. Because she knows, too. She knows that, what they had the opportunity to do was huge, They had the opportunity to stop a Thanos invasion, and they did. And that is invaluable. So essentially what it comes down to is, whose side are you on? Are you going to protect the future with Iron Man, or are you going to save the future with Captain Marvel? I believe those are their taglines. Or change the future. That's Captain Marvel's tagline. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm sucked in. I am in for this. The book was good. It was really well written. I'm still kind of in shock. I really can't believe that is what's happening. Brian Michael Bendis is one of the writers who I have not been a big fan of what Bendis has been doing recently. He's basically the reason why we no longer have Rich Rider. So in that regard, I'm not really a huge fan. Marquez and Ponzer are also involved. I don't know what their first names are because they're not listed. But those are the three big writers for the book. And wow. I'm all in, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know whose side I'm on yet. My big problem with Tony Stark is always that he reacts emotionally, and that is why I had a hard time with agreeing with him on the first Civil War, and it's why I'm probably going to be Team Captain Marvel on this one as well. But wow, I mean, if you have the opportunity to change the future, when you knew something awful was going to happen, I understand where Tony's coming from. The example he brings up is what happens if we find out that Ultron and Hulk are going to have a baby and it comes out to be Hitler. And Spider-Man says I'd pay to see that movie. But I get it. You know, you can't just, stop everything and lock people up and stuff like that. But, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you have the opportunity to, stop a Thanos attack and save millions of lives at the expense of two, you do it every time. And the point that Captain Marvel makes is Tony, Rhodey would have done it again. You're not the only one that lost somebody you love. And granted, James Rhodes is basically Iron Man's like best friend. So I get it, I do, but I would read this book, guys. I put some images in the video. Understand that when I do that, it takes so much longer than it does to just upload it. But damn, I hope that they find a way to bring Mr. Rhodes and Miss Walters back, because they always do. I'm tired in a way, though, of characters coming back to life. It's such a double-edged sword. Like, I'm sitting here begging for Rich Rider to come back to life, but I feel like they're never going to do it. And now here we go. We've got She-Hulk, and we have War Machine dead. They killed off a black character. Can you believe it? That's a shocker to me, because that's the type of character I thought they should have built up. But I don't think anybody would have had as big of an impact on Tony Stark as James Rhodes. So, there you go. I'd love to know what you guys think. Did you read Civil War #1? And if so, what do you think? Whose side are you on? Are you going to save the future with Captain Marvel, or are you going to protect the future with Iron Man?